Goedenavond en welkom bij deze aflevering van de Heilige Koer met daarin onder meer motocross, Grand Prix Zijspannen uit Nederland, uit Makkinga. Verder hebben we de historische SLS-rally, tractorpooling vanaf de Flevohof en in Zandvoort racen de Citroën AX'en. Veel autonieuws, onder andere de nieuwe Volkswagen Passat en de Daihatsu Charade. Maar we beginnen met autonieuws van Nissan.
Overmorgen opent de allergrootste autotentoonstelling ter wereld zijn poorten. De IAA in Frankfurt. Zoals gebruikelijk staat daar een hele vloot nieuwe modellen en futuristische prototypes te glimmen. In de komende weken zijn ze natuurlijk allemaal in de Heilige Koer te zien. We hebben deze maand zelfs iedere week een uitzending. En als opwarmer hebben we nu vast de absolute primeur van een gloednieuw prototype. De Nissan AQX. Een auto vol elektronische snufjes. Zoals een automatische afstandsregeling. Sensortjes in de bumpers bepalen precies hoe ver je voorganger nog van je verwijderd is. De Nissan AQX regelt in een file zelf het gas geven en remmen. Nog een snufje is bijvoorbeeld de elektronische contactsleutel. Diefstal is vrijwel uitgesloten. Nissan wil met de AQX laten zien hoe de personenwagen van de volgende eeuw eruit gaat zien. Met details als meters in het dashboard en het projectiesysteem op de voorruit. De designers hebben geen half werk geleverd. Het prototype rijdt namelijk ook echt. Het is een 4-persoonsauto met veel ruimte. Hij is van binnen lekker hoog en de motor is zo ver in de neus weggestopt dat de passagiers ook nog opvallend veel beenruimte hebben. Achterin passen dan ook nog een paar forse koffers. Een echte reiswagen dus. Maar dan wel een superzuinige. Want zijn nieuw ontwikkelde 16-kleps dieselmotor is 20% zuiniger dan de normale diesels. Je kunt er natuurlijk op wachten dat die motor, net als de nagelnieuwe actieve wielophanging, in een van de bestaande modellen wordt gebouwd. Tot zover de AQX. Autonieuws heet van de naald. Want morgen staat die pas als wereldprimeur op de autoshow in Frankfurt. Er zijn dit jaar 2 Grand Prix voor zijspannen in Nederland gehouden. De eerste was in Halle en de tweede in Makkinga afgelopen zondag. In de zijspansport vormt Nederland een aparte natie. We hebben al heel wat wereldkampioenen gehad. Vroeger Ton van Heugden, we hebben gehad Janse Geurts van Kessel en vorig jaar Eimert Timmermans met Erik Verhagen. Kopswijs waren Nederlandse favorieten, maar zij bijten al vroeg in het zand. En dan zijn het andere Nederlanders die de kop nemen. Met nummer 59 van Berlo Bijvelds, gevolgd door de gebroeders Jansen. Het werk van de bakkenisten is bijzonder zwaar en bijzonder moeilijk. En soms gevaarlijk. Wijnman met Wijnman uit Duitsland demonstreren dat hier. Terwijl ze dan proberen om die machine weer omhoog te krijgen, komen er weer andere mannen aan die dan niet zien dat er een gele vlag is. En dan krijg je dit soort situaties. Sedert 1980 is er altijd een Nederlander winnaar geworden in een Grand Prix in eigen land. Begin dit jaar in Halle was dat Marco Benz. Maar nu is het nummer 59 van Berlo Bijvelds die aan de leiding gaan. Gevolgd door de gebroeders Jansen. En het opmerkelijke was dat ze alle twee als invallers naar Makkinga waren gekomen. Maar omdat Marco Benz en Dick van Heugden wegens blessure niet konden starten, mochten zij dat wel doen. En met succes. Van Berlo Bijvelds winnen de eerste manche voor Jackie en William Jansen. Henk en Erik Schrijver worden derde. De tweede manche wordt niet verreden wegens een ongeval omdat het publiek op de baan was. Wie gaat de derde manche winnen?
Ja, we gaan al ons best doen en we hopen toch weer van voor in te eindigen. We gaan er gewoon voor.
En jij?
Ja, ik moet mee, dus we gaan voor dezelfde prijs. Dat is maar 1 plaats die telt en dat is de eerste natuurlijk. Hè.
De gebroeders Jansen willen winnen. Maar hoe denken Van Berlo en Bijvelds, de winnaars van de eerste manche, daarover?
Vandaag? Wij?
Ik denk het ook, ja.
2 Nederlanders die dus willen winnen. De derde manche. 30 equipes aan de start. En daar zijn ze dan weg. Onder hen Jan Bakens, die vandaag zijn laatste Grand Prix rijdt. En dan met startnummer 4, de Zwitsers Führer en Keizer, die wereldkampioen kunnen worden. Maar dan moeten ze bij de eerste 10 eindigen. Schrijver en Schrijver, Henk en Erik, zij nemen de leiding voor Jackie en William Jansen. Waar is dan Van Berlo? Die komt pas door op een 5e plaats. En Führer zit inderdaad bij de eerste 10. Führer en Keizer, de nieuwe wereldkampioenen, als ze deze positie weten te handhaven. Maar dan komen de gebroertjes Jansen naar voren. Ze pakken de eerste plaats. Henk en Erik Schrijver blijven tweede en van Berlo Bijvelds finishen als vijfde. En dat betekent dat de twee gebroeders Jansen de Nederlandse Grand Prix winnen. Een fantastisch resultaat, dat werd aanschouwd door zo'n 4000 toeschouwers in Makkinga. Vurer en Kezer zijn de nieuwe wereldkampioenen, waarmee ze Timmermans Verhagen opvolgen.
Meine heren, zeer bedankt.
30 starters. Chris Vlaar and Frans Pelikan are in a 16-valve Opel Kadett Group N car. Number 6 is Marcel van Laarhoven and Richard Verts in a Manta GSI Group A. Heisman has got our onboard camera, and on board the Galant we'll be seeing a lot of him. Wyssen Martins going extremely well in the Gulf Rally. And that's a Group A car. A lot of these cars have got 2 numbers, allowing 2 lots of drivers to have a crack. And that's Theo van den Berg and Wim Strauss in their RS Cosworth, a Group A car. Now then, problems for Weiss. He's lost a minute on this first stage, and I think we get a chance to find out exactly what went wrong.
Ja, op de eerste proef was er een moertje losgelopen van de spanner van de ventilators na. En er zit ook de weerlader op aangedreven.
He's had problem with the fan belt tensioner, which actually broke off. It's the simple things, isn't it? Engine's been overheating, so he's lost about a minute on this stage.
Het leuke van deze Amsterdam sprint is dat je...
That's all been fixed up now. He said here at the Amsterdam sprint there are 2 numbers on each car. I was telling you about that earlier.
Peter van den Berg is ook een...
He says Peter van den Berg is going to be his co-driver next time out with number 80, just for a bit of fun. Right now, he is, of course, with Heiko Martens. Number 18 having a bit of fun, which is Piet van Hoof and Marcia Corvers. A lot of Mantas here. Now, on these very short stages, they're set off at intervals, and it means that the crowd do get some exciting racing. It's almost like street racing, with the cars, the faster cars, catching up on some of the slower cars. Have a look at this, for example, the Cadet of Abbring being chased really hard by Theo van den Berg's Sierra, and right in his tail is the MG Metro of Verbas. And this is where the exciting racing comes from in Amsterdam at this Dunlop Rally Sprint. It's the 10th running of this event. Okay, this is Wim Schipper in his Manta 400. Nice, quiet, laid-back pink colour. He's running with 2 numbers as well, as you can see. We used to have a name for that sort of pink when I was a young man. Okay, a look at some of the front runners again then. This is Van Zutphen going around the hairpin on this section. They're actually using some of the cycle tracks off the main road. Here's Van der Marel. He's really enjoying, he's a real veteran in enjoying his drive here with his old rally car, which he dusted off, and down the cycle track. And Chris van Hoof, the Colt GTI 16 valve, enjoying this twisty part of this section. And Steverink and his little charade as well. Laar and Pelikan. Sponsored by Flavo Rubber Company there, look. And they're certainly using a lot of it up on that hairpin. And there's another number change there for Marcel van Laarhoven and Richard Verts in their Manta GSI. Now then, our onboard camera car, which is Heisman, Ries Heisman and Han Hugendorn.
180, Harpin rechts.
The VR4, we'll ride on board with them for a little while.
Haaks links. 1-2 haaks links. 1-2 haaks rechts rond. 120 chicane rechts in. 1-2 haaks links. 40 haaks links. 200 haaks rechts rond.
So that gives you an idea of what it's like to ride on board on some of these really twisty sections here.
You're driving here with Opel Manta 400. Why?
This is my old rally car. I was champion with this car in 84 and 85. And I kept the car always. And there was a lot of dust under the car, but I cleaned it a little up, and we are now here. And I always said I was born too early, but this is a real rally car. It's much better than the car from recent days.
It's fun to drive here in Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's a nice track, nice weather, a lot of public. It's fantastic.
Je rijdt in een Fiat. Wat voor soort Fiat is
Well,
het?
we're having a chat with Schoenenwolf here. You see, he's driving a Fiat Cinquecento. You can see it on the windscreen above there. They've been running a Cinquecento trophy in Europe all of this season, and he's starting a youth program now to get young people involved in rallying in a nice, cheap way. And so he's here promoting that youth program. And enjoying his drive as well. They're good little cars, those Cinquecentos. You've have heard about that on Go before now anyway. Very reasonable way of getting involved in rallying as he cocks a wheel around there. Well, as I said earlier, 5,000 people turning up for all the fun of the fair. And with the weather so good, it's a great family day out where you can get really close to all sorts of cars and see a bit of tyre screeching and some good driving as well. Well, the man who's leading at the moment is Hans Weiss, and this is where the number changed because he's now with Peter van der Berg and calling himself number 80. This is Flip van Zutphen again in the Rofra Racing Lancia Integrale, and another chance to get on board with
50. Haaks links,
Heisman and Hugendorn.
Ja, vrij. Into, haaks links, rond. 50, haaks rechts, rond. 60, chicane. Into, haaks rechts, rond. 60, haaks links, rond. Into, haaks rechts, rond. 200, chicane, links in. Into, haaks rechts, rond. 180, haaks links. Into, haaks rechts. Into, medium links. Into, haaks rechts. 100, haaks rechts, container. 80, haaks links, rond. 60, haaks links, rechts houden.
So some real excitement. Now here's the Abrink cadet, and have a look at this because Hans Weiss is coming storming through on the inside, and that's what the crowds turn out to see. Hans Weiss and Peter van der Berg in the lead now, and really putting on a great show for the crowd here. You can see how much faster he is in his Group A Golf. Van der Marel has been having a fantastic day, being cheered on by the crowds. The old champion from 84 and 85, driving into 4th position. And this is Patrick Meyer and Fennik Wesselink in their Manta I200. Our onboard camera car, Rees Heisman and Han Hugendorn, managed a 6th position in the end.
Is het makkelijk eigenlijk om zo'n rally sprint in de buurt
This is one of the organisers, Jan Plugge, and the question is it difficult to organise an event like this in a sort of a closed city urban area? And he said, well, this is not only the 10th rally sprint we've organised, but it's the 10th rally we've organised here in the centre of Amsterdam. And we're very lucky because the mayor has got good staff around him and really does make it easy for us to organise it, along with the rally clubs, etc.
Waarom doen jullie dat?
De rally sprintsport is een sport voor low budget.
Well, I think you get the idea of what he's telling us now. It's a very good way of getting involved in rallying for a very low budget, and it means it introduces a lot of people, 130 entrants here, to the sport of rallying without it costing a fortune. So second time lucky for Hans Weiss, Peter van der Brugge's co-drive, because second time out he actually won the 10th Dunlop Rally Sprint.
Winnaar voor de tweede keer van de Dunlop Rally Sprint. Gefeliciteerd.
Well, we're saying well done to him, and are you pleased? Yes, of course I'm
Toch een
pleased.
voordeel, dubbel inschrijven.
Good question is it easier like the second time around? He said no, not really. The first time round we had problems with mechanical problems with the car, but so this time round as number 80 we didn't have any mechanical problems, and we went out and won. So let's have a look at those results then. Abbring did manage the second place, Passman third, Van der Marel, as I told you, in fourth, and Meyer and Wesselink, fifth position. I know. This is what summer should look like. And you should be able to buy yourself a convertible car and enjoy it at this time of the year, but it's been a bit of a funny old summer. This is a brand new car from VW. It's the new Golf Cabriolet. Very much the brother of the old Golf, which is now 14 years old. Can you believe that? And that was a great success. 100,000 of those were built. So let's have a look at this. It's not completely open. It does have a roll bar. I don't think that really affects the look of it too much. I think it looks quite smart. But of course, it definitely does make the car much safer to drive. It's a full four-seater, this, so you can use it for sort of running around town as well as going on holiday. And it's based on the well-known three-door construction. Manufactured by Carman. Do you remember the manufacturers of the famous Carman gear? All the welding is done robotically these days. And all of the roof fitting has to be absolutely meticulously put together because it undergoes the sort of testing that this summer would have put it through at some stage. And it really is watertight and airtight. Very quiet with the roof up. I must say, it looks quite nice with the roof up. But this is when it comes into its own with the roof down. Very lovely looking car. Now then, this roll bar is very important, as our engineers will show you with this test film. In the case of a crash, not so much a forward crash, but a rollover crash like this, it really does protect the occupants. And that's why it's so important, as you can see, for occupants front and rear to wear seatbelts so that they're not thrown out of the protection of the roll bar cage. Wear your safety belts is the moral of this little film here. Now, as you saw from the construction in the Carman factory, it's a very, very strongly put together car. And the floor pan is very strong as well. It's got quite a stiff feel because it's had to be stiffened up a bit. The dashboard and interior almost identical to the VW Golf Saloon. Bit of fancy upholstery in here to make it a bit more sporty. And the roof is hidden under what I still call a tonneau cover. And it slips away. They're getting very, very good at this sort of thing these days. And it comes up and goes down very easily. And none of the grazed knuckles and pinched fingers of the old days at all. You can also have the roof electrically operated. This is a good idea as well. When you lock the car, the windows go up so that you don't leave the windows open by mistake. Quite reasonable boot space, I must say. There's also a special knob here for you to open the back seat down, and that allows you to fit in odd-shaped items. Under the bonnet, 3 versions of engine, 1.8, 75 brake horsepower, 1.8 litre, 90 brake horsepower, and the big sporty one, 2 litres, 115 brake horse. And it motors very nicely, I must say. I quite like the stiff handling. Well, I'm with News Desk, and it was a chaotic Formula Opel Euro Series weekend at Zandvoort that saw the Dutch Championship all but sewn up by AR Motorsport's Hans de Graaf. And Rademacher moved into the lead of the championship after a washed-out first race on Saturday and a crash-strewn 2 races on Sunday, leaving Patrick Cronelli 13 points behind. On to NASCAR. Rusty Wallace closed the gap by 5 points at the top of the table after a third place at Darlington saw him take the checkered just in front of Earnhardt, who still boasts a whopping 304-point buffer at the top. In a race that saw 21 lead changes among 10 drivers, Mark Martin notched up his 4th win and is now 2nd in the season's money stakes and a micro-close 3rd in the standings.